I've had the honor of traveling around the world to different continents, carrying the message of the Africa growth story. Now, it's an exciting one, and I started this way back in the day when most people believed this to be a dark continent, without any opportunity. And I've been carrying this message to this day, when hopefully many do understand the potential of the African continent. It's such an exciting story. I mean, I can dance, I can sing, I can recite poetry for days on this topic. If only we had enough time for that kind of entertainment today. It's really an exciting story. I mean, it's the second largest continent in the world, and it's already half urbanized and continuing to be more so. Most people don't even know that we have as many cities in this continent as we do in regions such as Europe, for example. And what excites me is the talent pool. Now, if you look at the projections in the next let's say 2 to 3 decades, the African continent is going to have one of the biggest working age populations, more than any continent in the world. Now, that's a source of competitive advantage. Really, I can go on and on about the facts, but the reason why I'm standing here today is to highlight a message that the businesses that are going to thrive and really make the most of this continent's growth potential are the businesses that understand that you need a different approach towards leadership in this continent. Not a Western approach, but an approach that's customized for Africa. Now, how do I know this? Well, because I've applied the tenets to my own life. Now, as a black girl born in some middle of nowhere township in South Africa, rising up to a point where I've worked in almost 9 countries and the story is still unfolding. What did I do differently? Well, having a strong vision is definitely something that stood out, despite the circumstances that I was living in at the time. The second one is furious determination through so much complexity and working through the mayhem, even if it meant becoming an entrepreneur as early as the age of 5. The third pillar of it is being aware that as a leader, you need to leave a legacy. I've always been clear about the legacy that I wanted to have, and I live that today, and that's to help business leaders understand how they can make the most of achieving scalable growth across the continent and beyond. So what does this mean for organizations? Well, if you're a leader in Africa, first, it's the vision. What do I mean by vision? It means you need to be the kind of leader who can have the drive, the determination to thrive and really work through the challenges along the way. That is leaders who have the vulnerability to say, I do not know. These are the kind of leaders who are open to innovative solutions that could come from any level of the organization, from the top right down to the bottom. Now, I've worked, fortunately, with business leaders in the biggest public and private sector organizations in South Africa, at the top level, and fortunately, right down to the guys at the front line and the store level. And the quality of ideas that you get is good regardless of what level an individual is in that organization. My last point is around leaving a legacy. Now, I told you the legacy that I would like to have, and really that's around working with business leaders in this continent. I challenge you all to really ask yourself, what legacy do you want to have? There's something fascinating happening at the moment. The Africa growth story, it's still unfolding. The elements of it are still being shaped. So as leaders, as individuals, as corporations, we all get a chance to make our mark on this masterpiece, because there's something being carved here, and that is the African story that will be told for generations to come. So as an individual, as a business, you need to decide exactly what carving, what marking are you going to have on that masterpiece. Now, there's so much more detail to this Africa story that I'm passionate about, and I look forward to sharing it with you and the rest of the people in your organizations. My name is Zipho Sikhakhane, and thank you so much for listening.